$4,700. That is what a Ford dealer in Tennessee charged a 2019 F150 owner to replace a body control module, a part that cost $280 at any auto parts counter. The labor was 2 hours. The rest of that bill was a ransom. It was a fee for permission to access software locks that Ford built into that truck specifically, so you could not go anywhere else. That Tennessee owner is not alone, and neither are you. Right now, mechanics across this country are doing something that looks strange from the outside. They are passing on late model inventory, trucks with 60,000 miles, low rust, clean Carfax, and they are buying 20-year-old vehicles instead. Not because they are sentimental, because they have run the numbers and they know something the industry does not want you to figure out. There is a cutoff, a specific line in automotive history where the industry stopped building machines and started building subscriptions. Mechanics who work on both sides of that line every day know exactly where it falls, and the vehicles that came before it are becoming the most valuable working tools in America, not despite their age, but because of it. This is what the industry calls the pre-screen era. And once you understand what it means, you will never look at a truck listing the same way again. To understand why this is happening, you need to understand what changed, and exactly when. Before 2003, the average American pickup truck was a mechanical system with an electrical assist. The engine management computer existed to optimize combustion. It ran the fuel injectors. It read the oxygen sensors. That was essentially it. A mechanic with a quality OBD2 scanner, a wiring diagram, and a parts account could fix virtually anything that went wrong. After 2008, that model began to collapse. Not because the trucks got more complex. Complexity is fine. Complexity can be documented and serviced. The trucks got encrypted. Body control modules began appearing with VIN lock protocols. Transmission controllers started requiring dealer-authorized calibration sequences to accept a replacement unit. By 2015, Ford, General Motors, and Ram were all shipping trucks with proprietary diagnostic gateways that rejected scan tools from any manufacturer except their own dealer network. The scan tool a dealer uses to authorize a module replacement on a 2019 Ram 1500 is the Mopar Ytech 2.0 system. A dealership pays approximately $2,800 per year to license it. An independent mechanic cannot buy that license. It is not available to them at any price. The part might be sitting on the shelf. The labor might take 45 minutes. But without that license, the job cannot be done, legally or functionally. They did not build a better truck. They built a better toll booth. The change did not happen overnight. It was methodical, and it was profitable, and it followed a template that the auto industry borrowed from agriculture. John Deere pioneered the software lock model for farm equipment in 2010 when it introduced encrypted ECU firmware on its 8R series tractors. Farmers could no longer reset fault codes, recalibrate sensors, or replace controllers without a Deere dealer visit. By 2015, Deere was generating an estimated $900 million annually in service revenue that had previously gone to independent shops and farm co-ops. The auto industry watched that number and took notes. In 2017, General Motors introduced the Vehicle Theft Deterrent Module Lock Protocol across its full-size truck lineup, the Silverado 1500 and Sierra 1500, which tied the BCM, PCM, and instrument cluster to a single encrypted VIN signature. Replacing any of those three modules without GM dealer authorization through their global diagnostic system triggers a permanent theft mode lockout. A GM dealer charges between $450 and $850 for the authorization procedure alone, before any parts or labor. The module itself is secondary. In 2021, Ford took it further. The 2021 F-150 introduced a programmed fuel injector system using individually coded injectors linked to the PCM via encrypted serial numbers. Replacing a single injector on that engine requires a dealer to run a fuel injector learned procedure through Ford's integrated diagnostic system. Independent shops cannot access IDS without a Ford dealer subscription at $2,500 per year. A job that cost $180 per injector at an independent shop on a 2014 F-15 O now costs $600 to $900 per injector on the 2021, and most of that difference is the permission fee. RAM followed in 2022 with the introduction of secure gateway modules on all new 1500 and 2500 pickups. The gateway sits between the OBD2 port and the vehicle network and actively blocks any scan tool that does not present a valid FCA dealer certificate. Even reading live data, something any $40 scanner could do on a 2005 RAM, now requires a $3,200 annual subscription to the Stellantis Tech Authority diagnostic platform. The engine is the same. The permission to fix it is not. The financial motive here is not complicated. It is just large. Dealer service departments in the United States generated $143 billion in revenue in 2022, according to the National Automobile Dealers Association annual report. That number has grown every year since 2015, not because vehicles are breaking more often, but because a larger percentage of repairs that used to go to independent shops are now legally and technically required to happen at dealerships. The aftermarket repair industry, independent shops, regional chains, owner-performed maintenance, was estimated at $390 billion annually by the Auto Care Association in 2023. That is the market that OEM diagnostic lockouts are designed to redirect. Not all of it, enough of it. The high-margin jobs, the module replacements, the transmission calibrations, the injector coating. The jobs that take 40 minutes but bill at $600 because the authorization procedure cannot happen anywhere else. When you buy a truck with a locked BCM and a proprietary gateway, you are not just buying a truck. You are signing an open-ended service agreement with one vendor for the life of that vehicle. You just did not know it when you signed the purchase papers. That is not a truck payment. That is a financing arrangement with 4 wheels. So why are experienced mechanics buying 20-year-old vehicles? Because they have identified the exact boundary where the trap was set. The pre-screen era ends at different points for different manufacturers, but the general cutoff is approximately 2004 to 2008, before the second generation of CAN bus architecture rolled out across the full truck segment, before VIN lock became standard, before encrypted gateway modules, before the proprietary scan tool subscription model was complete. A 2003 Dodge Ram 2500 with the 5.9-liter Cummins 24-valve engine runs a fully open diagnostic architecture. Any OBD2 scanner reads it. Any Cummins-trained independent mechanic can rebuild it. Injectors are mechanical. The lift pump is mechanical. The VP44 injection pump on the earlier 12-valve is a known service item with a well-documented rebuild community and aftermarket parts that are equal to or better than OEM. Fleet operators running these trucks for municipal work have published maintenance logs showing engines clearing 350,000 miles on original blocks with documented service intervals and no dealer involvement at any point. A 2002 to 2006 GM 2500 HD with the Duramax LB7 or LLY is in the same category. The LB7 has a documented injector failure issue between 100,000 and 150,000 miles. NHTSA complaint number 100274441 covers this across the 2001 to 2004 model years. But the injectors are serviceable. A set of 8 remanufactured injectors runs $1,400 to $1,800 from a reputable supplier like Industrial Injection or Bostech. An independent diesel shop can perform the replacement in a day. Total cost, including labor, under $2,500. The same job on a 2022 Duramax L5P requires GM dealer authorization through the Global Diagnostic System to calibrate the new injectors to the PCM. Total dealer cost, $4,800 to $6,200. A 2001 to 2004 Ford F250. With the 7.3-liter Power Stroke as the most requested engine among diesel mechanics when asked what they would buy for their own use. The 7.3 is a mechanically injected engine. Each injector is a hydraulic electronic unit injector, or HEUI, actuated by high-pressure oil rather than a coded fuel curve. There is no calibration procedure. There is no VIN lock. The HEUI injectors are available as complete remanufactured units for $120 to $180 each. The oil pressure actuated injection system means that injector function is entirely diagnosable with a standard oil pressure gauge and a basic scan tool. Fleet operators have documented original 7.3 blocks running past 500,000 miles with conventional maintenance. These are not nostalgia purchases. These are financial decisions made by people who understand exactly what they are avoiding. Here's what to look for and what to walk away from. For the 5.9 Cummins, the 2003 to 2007 automatic transmission trucks came with the 48RE, a known weak point at the front pump and overdrive clutch pack above 400,000 miles. A rebuilt 48RE from a reputable shop runs $2,800 to $3,400. Ask for a transmission service history. If there is none, budget for a rebuild and price it into your offer. Red flags in any listing, mentions of slipping, hunting between gears, or any prior transmission work done at a dealership rather than a specialty shop. Check the frame rail above the rear axle on high mileage examples. Rust perforates this section on northern trucks, and it is expensive to repair correctly. For the LB7 Duramax, inspect the oil fill cap for white emulsification, which indicates a cracked cylinder head or failed head gasket, a known failure mode on the LB7 that correlates with improper coolant maintenance. Pull a coolant sample. If it smells burned or shows discoloration, walk away regardless of price. The injector failure mode on LB7 presents as hard start when cold and visible fuel dilution in the oil. Check the oil dipstick for level above the full mark, which indicates fuel washdown. A truck with documented injector replacement in its service history is preferable to one with no records. At least you know the work was done. For the 7.3 Power Stroke, the two failure points to check are the oil pressure sensor, a $40 part that causes hard starts when it fails and is frequently misdiagnosed as injector failure, and the cam position sensor, which runs about $25 and causes intermittent no start. Both are 10-minute replacements. If the truck cranks but does not start easily when cold, test the ICP sensor before assuming anything more serious. Any truck with a recent IDM, injector driver module, replacement is actually a positive sign because it means the electrical side has been refreshed. The fair private market price range as of early 2025, a clean 2003 to 2007 Cummins automatic with under 200,000 miles runs $18,000 to $28,000 in most markets. A rust-free LB7 Duramax extended cab with documented injector service runs $14,000 to $22,000. A 7.3 Power Stroke F25, with under 175,000 miles, and a clean body runs $16,000 to $26,000. More in the Pacific Northwest and Southwest where rust is minimal. Buy from owners who can document maintenance. Avoid anything offered by a used dealer who bought it at auction and cannot answer basic questions about service history. Choosing one of these trucks over a new one is not a compromise. It is a declaration. It is a statement that you own your vehicle, that you choose your mechanic, that no software update pushed over a cellular connection can change what your truck is capable of doing. That no proprietary scan tool subscription stands between you and a broken part. The Right to Repair Act has been introduced in 42 states as of 2024. The Massachusetts Data Access Law passed in 2021 was the furthest reaching, requiring automakers to open diagnostic data to independent shops by 2022. Ford and General Motors both filed federal legal challenges to that law. The case is still working through federal court. In the meantime, the industry continues to add gateway layers, encrypted modules, and subscription requirements to every new model year. Support the Repair Association. Support your state right to repair legislation when it appears on your ballot. And if you are buying a truck right now, buy one that was built before anyone decided your ownership came with asterisks. You bought it. You own it. Act like it. Next week, we're going inside the 10-speed automatic transmission arms race, specifically the 10R80 in the F-150 and the 10L80 in the Silverado. Over 11,000 combined NHTSA complaints, multiple class action suits, and a design decision made in 2017 that engineers flagged internally before either transmission ever hit the road. If you own one of these trucks, you need to see this before your next service interval. Subscribe if you want to know what the service department already knows about your truck, because they are counting on you not finding out. You did not lose the right to fix your truck. They just built enough walls around it to make you forget you ever had it.